Hello, XLR consulting firm. We're here to provide you a method to solve all of your security needs.
We recently heard that you have faced intrusion, and this network intrusion can be very harmful to both your data and government interests, which you provide for.
We suggest that you use Snort, which is a NIDS, which is a network-based intrusion detection system, which will check all of the ports and make sure that you are not being attacked.
All the ports that you check by this NIDS will be regularly monitored to see what services are going through them and if they are malicious. Snort uses statistical anomaly detection. Statistical anomaly detection means that it will look at these services and will see if this service is particularly different than other ones, if it's running things that should not usually be run, and will not, unlike other software and other IDSs, it will look and see, does this one have different irregularities that might not necessarily be malicious or an encoded version of what might be malicious, but is it just different to the point where maybe it can be, maybe it is, using statistics of how other viruses regularly work to find new problems and new things that might be malicious coming into your software. Snort is also open source. Open source meaning that people can regularly look at the code and regularly see if there's problems in it, versus other softwares which are run by companies. And these companies often hide their own software and end up using it to make money and don't regularly update it based on community feedback, but based on what their own company says, allowing you to not actively engage with it or actively see the problems. Snort is also available for Windows and Mac, but is available for Windows and Linux, but not for Mac, meaning that it is mostly available with operating systems that you will probably be using in your professional career. This software is different than CrowdStrike Falcon, which is a different IDS or intrusion detection system.
CrowdStrike Falcon is a host-based intrusion detection system, which means that it's only able to check the files that are within the computer that you are running, which means that it can't search for anomalies that are coming through your network.
CrowdStrike Falcon also costs $60 per endpoint per year, making it very expensive. It's also available for all regular operating systems like Linux, Windows, and Mac. SolarWinds Security Event Manager is also a different alternative which you could possibly use. SolarWinds Event Security Manager is both a NIDS and an HIDS, combining both. However, it costs $5,000 per year or $2,600 per month, and it does not use Unix or Linux. OSSEC or OSSEC is available for all platforms and is a different intrusion detection software. However, that is also a host-based intrusion detection software and not an NIDS. And it is available for all platforms and is also free. What intrusion detection software systems might be doing is analyzing files, networks, and logs in order to see what anomalies are present and how these differences might be affecting your network right now. I also suggest that we enable IDP, which drops packets going into your system trying to run services if they're malicious in real time, versus an IDS which just ends up logging what happens and lets them run. It is by enabling IDP that we can stop packets from destructing your company and your business and your security preemptively by saying that we don't think that is good until we analyze it later and then see if it actually was just a machine mistake. We also suggest that you set up this intrusion detection software to analyze the port outside of the firewall, but just after it hits your router, when the system and the service ends up coming into your system. If tracking traffic just outside of your firewall ends up meaning that you can see all the things that would get stopped by your firewall as well, seeing what attacks are trying to be launched against your government agency, even if they would never have actually got through. I also suggest that you end up setting it at a port of a database that you might have with a bunch of government important files. if you have a database or a server with a ton of government important files, it would be very vital that you secure that port as well to see what is happening within that. Also, setting up at these ports means that when there is traffic running, it does not end up slowing down the system if it's within your own system or retrieving data that is not usually important for outsiders. Only setting it up at these very important government run port, the government database port, and the port going directly outside will end up helping you greatly. Thank you, XLR Consulting Firm.